And the first thing to do is to make my people feel safe. Otherwise, they tend to go work for him. It's annoying, to tell the truth. A bit hurtful. But they do it every time. Join up with the enemy and become priests of order. They're getting more active every day. Not a good sign. You know what would be a good sign? Free sweet rolls! Ho, ho, ho! Who wouldn't like that? Shut them down where you can, and make sure to kill the priest you see around them. If you don't, they can reactivate the obelisk. They're the worst of all. My own subjects, working for the enemy. It's enough to make an old Daedric prince get all weepy. It doesn't help that they're the ones who make the obelisks work. A little chanting, a little ritual, and poof, Knights of Order. Bad news. Kill them when you see them. But don't touch the corpse until they're really dead. Which they aren't until you deactivate the obelisk. That's where you're going to get the Flame of Agnon. Do you listen to anything I say? Do your ears work? If not, I can find use for them. Go and fetch the flame. Bring it to the Cecellum. Light the great torch. How are you going to be me if you can't even do what me tells you? It's what's used to light the great torch. Haven't we covered this? You'll find it in Sylarn, guarded by my saints and seducers. Aren't you the curious one? You know what they say about curiosity, though, don't you? It killed the intrepid adventurer who really should just be doing exactly what I say at all times! You're going to stop the Grey March by becoming me. Or a version of me. You'll be powerful. Powerful enough to stop Jigalag. The great torch shines brightly above New Sheoth. A beacon of hope for all the citizens. Except it doesn't! It's gone out! Happens every time the Grey March begins, which it has. Makes all of my subjects uneasy, tense, homicidal, some of them at least. We need to get that torch relit before the place falls apart. Ta! Come visit again!
Yes, is there something you require? It is underway, but my lord does not wish for you to confront it directly yet. First, the realm and its citizens must be attended to. The Flame of Agnon can only be lit by the immortal servants of Sheogorath, the Golden Saints and dark seducers of his creation. In normal times, Sheogorath would simply command it, and his servants would leap to sacrifice themselves upon the altars of rapture and despair. But alas, the times are not normal, and Sheogorath has given you this task without the authority to command it. I'm afraid you may have to be a little bit clever. Ah, the Great Torch. It is a symbol of Sheogorath's power and a source of great comfort for the citizens of New Sheoth. Unfortunately, the torch has gone out. For eternity, this has heralded the start of the Grey March. Lord Sheogorath, in his wisdom, wishes for you to relight the torch to help ease the worries of the populace. Yes, he will soon march across the land, destroying all that stands in his path. It's a frightening prospect. Many of our citizens are delicate. They can't cope with the prospect, and they defect to the forces of Jigalag, becoming priests of order. I fear they grow in power as the Grey March progresses. More and more Knights of Order make their way into the Isles. The priests of Order are the key. They summon the knights at the obelisks. A bad lot. Traitors. You'll find them near the obelisks that dot the land. They perform rituals at the obelisks to summon knights to the realm. Their link to Jigalag gives them power, As long as their obelisk is active, they cannot truly be killed. I live to serve.
Halt! Mortals are not permitted within the walls. My pardon, Lord. Receive this key, and with it free passage throughout the shrine of the Flame of Agnon. Alas, we cannot light the flame until we take control of the Altar of Despair from the infernal Mazken. The Armazal would wish to speak to you at once. Proceed through this door to our main encampment at the Altar of Rapture.
State your business, Then you are free to enter the shrine of the Flame of Agnon. This key will allow you passage through any door in Scylarn. The flame is lit from the shrine's 2 altars. Once the Orioles are driven out of Scylarn, it will be our pleasure to light the flame for Sheogorath. The Grukedric Ulfri will explain everything. You should speak to her at once.
My scout.
Hail!
Allow me to scout further.
Enough! My soul for... That's what we call ourselves. The most loyal and honorable servants of Sheogorath. The flame is only lit at the command of Sheogorath, from the altars of rapture and despair within the shrine itself. I'm sure the Armazal will be glad to help you once the Mazken are driven from the altar of despair. She commands the Orioles here at Scylarn. She has just arrived with reinforcements from Brellock to end this stalemate once and for all. The treacherous ones, the dark seducers of ill repute, whose every action drags Sheogorath's holy name through the mud. Our home and sanctuary here in the Shivering Isles. Alas, we have not seen the Altar of Despair for many years. It is in the underground part of Scylarn, which is controlled by the Mazken. The Mazken do not even allow us free passage to worship there, which is one of the many reasons why they are unfit to continue to guard it. It is just there, at the top of these steps. You would pray for the blinding ecstasy, which is the ultimate reward for those in Sheogorath's service? For Sheogorath's glory. My soul. Go.
Hey, greetings, stranger. Are you here to help us drive the Mazken out of Cylon? My scouts recently discovered another way through the ruins to the Altar of Despair. The Armasul cannon wants to assault the altar down the main passage, but the Mazken are expecting us to come that way. They've strongly fortified the main passage against us. If we attacked through the Underdeep, we could take them by surprise. If only Kenna would listen to me. An attack down the main passage will end the same as it always does. A glorious defeat. She thinks the Underdeep is a trap. It's true. If the Mazken knew we were coming that way, we wouldn't stand a chance. But I'm convinced the Mazken don't expect us to come that way. If we attacked in full force, we could take the Altar of Despair before they had a chance to react. If only I could make Kenna see that. Go.
Go. My soul. For Sheogorath's glory. This is no place for a mortal. We are about to join battle against the Mazken. You'd best stand aside. My pardon, emissary. I am at your service. We are preparing to sweep the Mazken scum from Cylon. Perhaps Sheogorath sent you to help us. Only the servants of Sheogorath can light the flame, by kindling the altars of despair and rapture which feed the flame. Alas, we hold only the altar of rapture. The treacherous Mazken hold the altar of despair. We must control both to light the flame. If you help us seize the altar of despair from the Mazken, I will be honored to kindle the flame of Agnon for my lord Sheogorath. The flame is fed from the altar of rapture and the altar of despair. Only servants of Sheogorath can kindle the altars. Once we capture the altar of despair from the Mazken, it will... The only way to assault the altar of despair is down the main passage between the two altars. It will be difficult. The Mazken have fortified their position, but I am confident that with your help, we can defeat them. Will you help us retake the altar of despair and drive the Mazken out of Cylon once and for all? Ah, Miral's beloved surprise attack. A perfect example of why males do not hold command positions. He has failed to consider the risks of his plan. If the Mazken had prepared an ambush along that route, we would be slaughtered. We're better off storming the main passage, where our superior strength and blade work can come into play. For Sheogorath's glory. Greeting. Are you... That's an excellent idea. They cannot refuse entry to an emissary of Lord Sheogorath. Return at once when you have their deployments. This could make all the difference. Go. Cylon shall be ours. What it...
the counterpart to the Altar of Despair. Rapture is currently held by the Ariels in their complacency, but that will soon change. We hold the Altar of Despair, here within the Shrine of the Flame of Agnon. Continue down the corridor if you wish to meditate there upon the fate of all things mortal. Our rivals, the so-called Golden Saints. One day, Sheogorath will finally recognize their bull-headed stupidity and expel them from the realm. The holy flame can only be lit from the altars of despair and rapture. Alas, the Ariels hold rapture for now. You should speak to the Grakedric Ulfri at once. She will be glad of your help to rid Sylarn of the arrogant Ariels once and for all. You know us as Dark Seducers, a name given us by our enemies. But we are the Mazken in our own tongue, Sheogorath's only truly loyal servants. She is the Grakedric, commander of the Mazken here at Sylarn. She has never yet been defeated by the Ariels, despite their strength. Walk with our lord. A mortal wandering the halls of Holy Sylarn, and a male no less. Explain yourself. Then I am at your service. The Grakedric Ulfri commands here. You will wish to speak to her at once, no doubt. For Sheogorath's glory. Hail. Begone, mortal, or you will soon find yourself between the Mazken and their prey. A most dangerous place to be. We are preparing to wipe out the arrogant Ariels once and for all. Once they break themselves on our defenses, Sylarn will be ours, a gift for our Lord Sheogorath. Then you have arrived just in time to help us defend the Altar of Despair. Once the strength of the Ariels is shattered, I will be honored to light the flame as my Lord Sheogorath commands. The two altars, Blessed Despair and Holy Rapture, feed the great flame of Agnon above us. Only Sheogorath's immortal servants can kindle the altar. The Ariels hold Rapture and are massing to attack us. But never fear, they are no match for us. Once their main force is destroyed, with your help, we can easily take Rapture from the few survivors. Then I will gladly kindle the flame for you. Only the... Walk with our Lord. Hail.
Ah!
What? You have found it. The holiest of holies within Sylarn, aside from the altar of the... Walk with our Lord. What? For Sheogorath's glory.
Greetings, emissary. We await your command. Are you ready to help us destroy the Mazken and take control of the Altar of Despair? Are all males so obstinate? Have I not already told you that I consider that route too risky? What makes you think you can persuade me when my own lieutenant cannot? You've seen this with your own eyes? I must be sure it isn't a trap if I'm to take such a risk. Myrrel was very convincing as well. Very well, we'll risk it. The Underdeep it is. May Sheogorath's divine madness possess us today. Orioles, we attack through the Underdeep. The Mazken will be destroyed before they awake to their danger. Down with the Mazken! Death to the Mazken, for the glory of Sheogorath! Orioles, follow me!
Mazken, to arms!
For Sheogorath! The Altar of Despair is ours, but the battle is not over yet. Defensive position. For the Mad God! Orioles, follow me!
For the Mad God! Mazken! For the Mad God! Mazken!
Oriole! For Sheogorath! Victory is ours. I have already selected a candidate for the honor of kindling the altar of rapture. I will now claim the honor of victory for myself, here on the altar of despair. The altars can only be kindled by the willing sacrifice of a Mazken or an Oriole. It is my great honor to release my soul to Oblivion in service to Lord Sheogorath. Farewell. I will not walk these lands for many a year. For Sheogorath's glory.
My soul for Go. Our home and sanctuary here in the Shivering Isles. The treacherous ones. The dark seducers of ill repute, whose every action drags Sheogorath's holy name through the mud. Go. Thanks to you. Go.
You have served out the Mazken with their own medicine. Not the most glorious victory, perhaps, but Sylarn is... Go. My soul for Sheo... Go. Thanks to you, the Mazken have been utterly defeated. Go. My soul for Sheogorath... My soul for Sheogorath's glory.
Oh. Ah! Oh!